Okay, well, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce you to my dear friend and someone I am incredibly impressed with and someone who's my mentor, Don Walter.
Well, I appreciate Liz's kind words. Let's just take it, let it roll, and see where it goes. So let me tell you a little bit about myself and how that relates to what we're talking about. Situational awareness, maintaining situational awareness, developing it so you don't go out and kill yourself, or so you can be in business the most successful you can be. Here's my life. She said I have two cute little kids. I have two cute little kids, a wife and a dog. I'm a partner in a fairly large real estate company here in Atlanta. As Liz mentioned, I flew for Delta for 28 years, and I'm still consulting with them. I'm a research pilot for a NASA subcontractor, and we'll talk about that at the very end. And I like to run, I like to cook, and I have a phenomenal dog that runs with me named Kaylee. Sir, I love to cook.
I'm a master chef.
I want to cook with you. So what does all that mean? That means that I run around with my life with lots of built-in distractions, and unless I'm able to maintain my focus, nothing gets done. You ever felt that? It's just like, I could let everything distract me, and I wouldn't be here today talking to you all. Nothing gets done. So let's move forward. Most of the things, anytime an error happens, it's usually because somebody made a mistake. And guess what? It doesn't just happen with airplanes. There was a video done in England. It was banned in the United States, although CBS picked it up. And it's a picture of a girl driving down the road. And she starts texting. And the car drifts off the center line and winds up with a head-on collision with another car. And the video is very graphic. It shows the girls inside getting bashed around. It shows blood coming out of their head. It was done to shock people. And if I can get it, we'll put it up later. But it's a very gruesome video. And the point of the video is you can't text and drive. Now, when texting came out, before all this, I said it didn't apply to me. I can text and drive. Okay? I can talk on the cell phone and drive if I use a hands-free headset. But the statistics have come out now, and it's impossible. It is more dangerous than smoking marijuana and driving. It's more dangerous than drinking alcohol and driving. It sucks you in. There is a phenomenon in aviation we call target fixation. That's where you look at something so intently, you're oblivious to what's going on without you, and that is the ultimate distraction. So we said that nobody's going to go out, pick up their cell phone and crash their car, are they? But guess what? There is every single day, and this is, if I don't leave you with anything else, this is one of the most important things I'm going to say today. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. Everybody makes mistakes. The important part of what I'm going to talk to you about is how you react to the mistakes once they're made. Okay? Or how you or your friend can tap you on the shoulder and say, you know what? I don't think texting and driving, or I don't think whatever you're doing is such a good idea. So let me ask you, while he's doing that, let me just ask a global question. We have all sorts of different kinds of questions while we're talking to people. A global question goes to a highly interactive group like this and says, why did the car crash? Wasn't paying attention? Why else? They crashed because they were texting, okay? Yep. They weren't paying attention. All right. They weren't paying attention. What else? What was the basic problem? Guys, at the end of the day, what was the basic problem with when somebody texts in a car? Yeah, nobody's driving the car. You got a 2,000-pound machine running down the road at 60 miles an hour. Nobody's driving it. You're driving your cell phone. How are you going to maintain situational awareness? How are you going to maintain control of your life in any situation? Give me an idea.
Staying focused.
Stay focused, okay? How do you stay focused? What if you can't control the distractions? What do? You ignore it, okay? Well, that's true. You know, sometimes the distraction is somebody outside of you, like a car going beep, 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 beep. Or sometimes it's like when my kids grew up, sometimes it's just a kid screaming, a little baby. You can't tell the baby, you know, the baby's just going to scream. So you need some mechanism for maintaining your focus, for maintaining your situational awareness. All sorts of distractions can take place, right? The phone rings, the cell phone goes off, and what happens is whatever happens right in front of you totally blocks out what's going on behind you, what you should be doing, and you lose your focus, right? That's the case of the cell phone in the car. Okay, we can turn that off now. We can turn it off. Yeah, that's fine. All right. All right, so guys, that's kind of disturbing, isn't it? Yeah. So we can sit here and talk about this stuff, and it really doesn't mean anything until you see something like that, and then you can sit there and say, hell, that could happen to me. You know, I'm not immune to that. I want you to divide up these three tables, these three tables, these three tables. Okay? You two, and actually you three and you two. I want you guys amongst yourselves to come up with 5 reasons, just 5, why did the kids crash? Okay, go ahead.
Texting, the music was loud, the friends was in the car, they weren't paying attention, and they ain't hear the other person horn.
In the aviation accidents that happen, someone either in the cockpit or someone in the cabin or someone outside the cabin or on the ground had enough information to prevent the crash. Somebody had the information. Nobody in the car recognized that the driver was being distracted, or they were participating in being part of the distraction, and so they didn't recognize that as an event and weren't able to correct it. At the end of the day, it's like an airplane. Nobody was flying the airplane. How many people heard about the Northwest pilot that flew past Minneapolis because he was looking some stuff up on a laptop? This is a highly trained professional in a $50 million airplane with 150 people sitting behind him. On his he doesn't have a job anymore. They landed the plane. I mean, the plane landed all right, but there is a case of it can happen to anybody. Flew past Minneapolis was a destination. They were sitting there doing something on a laptop and just were totally oblivious. They were focused on the laptop and forgot and didn't know what happened. You had a question? Okay. All right. So let's go through this real quick because I think you've identified what can get in your way, but what caused it to break down? How many of you guys have tried to do something when you feel like crud? It's not easy, is it? You know, you got an upset stomach. Is it easy to do something? No. Can't concentrate. We talked about a lot of distractions. The car had what? People yelling, loud music, texting, lots of distractions.
And it was a small car.
Okay. In time-critical events, if I ask you to do something right now, you're going to focus on me, or you're going to focus on that event. And there are cases, who's heard of the Blue Angels? Or the Thunderbirds?
I've seen them.
You've seen them? Okay, the Thunderbirds? The Thunderbirds had a precision team where they take 7 jets and fly all sorts of aerobatics. As a matter of fact, the Dobbins Air Show, I think, is coming up in the next week or two. Okay, how many of you guys do things over and over again and you just go, okay, I've done that a million times, so I'm not going to pay any attention? Okay, I've done that. And then you get to this thing, you go, did I do it or didn't I do it? That's total distraction. Deadlines, your homework. You know your homework's due the next day, or you know due at 9 o'clock and it's 8:55 and you're working on it. How much pressure is that, and how easy is it to concentrate on doing your homework? It's almost impossible. Absolutely. All right, so here's what I need. Let's prove to ourselves that we can be a little bit distracted. Who wants to volunteer? I need 2 volunteers, okay?
Me, I had my hand up first.
All right. You can do one.
I want to do one.
All right, I've only got, now here's your goal. There's 2 cups here and a cup here. Up. And here's a pitcher of water. All right, you want to do it? There's there. And I'm going to put we'll put 2 cups up here. All right, who's got a stopwatch? What's that? You got a stopwatch? Okay. We've got somebody to time. So here's what I want you to do. I want you just need to fill your cup up and take it over, fill the other 2 cups up as fast as you can. The record is 21 seconds. I don't want to put any pressure on you, but 21 seconds is the record. But you have to fill the cup on that side and pour it in over there, all the way up. That's it. You got it? And all you're going to do, it's real simple. All you're going to do is take this cup and pour it in, fill it up again, take this cup and pour it in, and you're not going to spill a thing, and you're going to do it in under 21 seconds. You're going to do yours over here, right? All right? And guys, all right, and anybody that cares, as we do this, anybody that cares to provide some distraction while they do this, feel free. Ready, go. You just tell me what, it really doesn't matter what the time is. You just say a time when they're done.
Drink it.
Okay? All right, how long was that? 15 seconds. That's pretty good. Did you get them all the way full to the very top? No. Okay, we're gonna hold on. We're gonna try it again in a minute.
Loser.
When that happens, when so much stuff goes on, it interferes with what you're doing. We call that task saturation. So here's how you overcome it. So we know that we can all be distracted. We know that it's possible to do better, and how do we do it? Guys? All right. If you prepare yourself, if you become confident in what you're doing, and if you like what you're doing, if you're comfortable in your role, what you're doing becomes a lot easier. And there's a lot of ways to do that, but the most effective way is to learn how to communicate and basically use some skills and build a team. Because a team can do far more. I'm sure you've heard that. A team can do far more than you can do by yourself. You agree? Okay, so how do we do that? We decide who's going to be on our team. You're going through life. You're running a business. I run a real estate business. Who's on my team? Realtors are on my team. I want to buy houses and fix them. Who's on my team? You do a what?
Rock star.
You're going to do a rock studio? Yeah. Okay, you buy a rock studio. Who's going to be on your team?
Bow.
Who said that?
Who? What do you need on your team besides bow? Bow doesn't tell me very much. That doesn't communicate.
Guitars, piano, all that other stuff, magazines, all that.
All right, well, you need guitar, okay. Who else? If you're just driving down the road, who's on your team?
Me, myself,
The people around you in the car.
Yeah, if you make them on your team, right? Guys, everything you're going to do in your life, you want to find the best you can afford to be on your team at the time. Not just somebody who wants to be on your team, but the best you can afford, the best you can find. All right, so I need 2 more volunteers. Okay? Let's try this. Let's try this with some team building now. All right, now. It took 15 seconds for one person to fill these cups, right? All right, so now I'm going to make the distance a little bit longer. you can build a team. You've got 1 minute to build your team, and your goal is going to be to fill those 2 cups up as fast as you can. Why would we build a team?
So you can make the work easier.
Make it easier, faster, better, more accurate. Okay, who wants to be a team back here? Are you guys ready? Get set, go. Tell me when you got it. You got it? You got the time? That was 8 seconds and probably 9 seconds.
I don't know what it came from.
That's
This not ours.
it's okay. All right, guys that are building the team, as you guys are watching, what's the difference between doing it yourself and having a team? It's faster. What else?
More mobility.
More mobility?
I need to get some.
More convenient? Did you get, if you had a little bit longer building the team, guess what it can be? It's amazing. Fun. Okay, remember the first thing I said was it was okay to make mistakes? Okay, even pouring water, like, it doesn't make any difference if the water spilled. Here's the second most important part of our thing. In order to maintain your situational awareness, in order to do something really well, in order to be able to talk to people and communicate, you have to be good at what you do. If you remember, how many people have ever been like roller skating or skateboarding? Okay? The first time you did it, it wasn't very easy, was it? No, you had to sit there and build some expertise before you could go skateboarding down the street and talk to your buddy next to you. I mean, it took a lot of concentration. That's part of going to school is we build our technical skills. And once we become good at something, once we become good at throwing a football, or once we become good at cooking, right? Now we can start relating that to other people, and we can bring other people into the kitchen or onto the ball field or into your rock studio. I wasn't here for that. Okay. Last part, and then we'll talk about my world. Last part says, it doesn't happen. If you want to maintain this awareness, how do you do it?
Focus on being focused.
You focused on being focused. Okay? What else? Are you just going to wander through life? If I just got up in the morning and said, I'm going to go out today and see what happens, do you think that anything's going to happen? No. Something's going to happen, but it probably isn't going to get you to where you think you want to go. How many people have a dream of what they want to do? 1, 2, 3. How many people have thought about that? How many people just have a passion, something they're passionate about? Doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything. Okay? Well, here's a hint for you. Following your passion is a great way to maintain focus because you love to do it. All right? But let's say that in succeeding in maintaining your situational awareness, you absolutely have to start with a plan. A plan can be your dream. It can be your passion. It can be anything that you want to do. Skateboarding from here to the end of the block, doing a double flip, whatever it is that you figure out that you want to do, that's the plan. You'll never get, somebody said, oh, I can't do a double. I don't know whether you can do a double flip on a skateboard, but you'll never get there unless somebody had a plan to try. Okay? So your success for everything you're going to do, you have to have some sort of plan, even if the plan is just in your head and it's your plan. It can just be as simple as, I'm driving home from Grady today. My plan is to go straight home. I don't live that far, but my phone rings. So what do? Pull over to the side, stop, right? Pick up the phone, and it's my wife, and she says, honey, we need some milk. All right? So now what do? I adapt the plan. And how do I adapt it? I turn around and I say, okay, now I've got to make a right turn here, go into Kroger, come back, go down Briarcliff, make a left turn. So I've adapted my plan. And anytime you adapt your plan, guys, you're going to prioritize. You're going to have options. You your option might be, if the car is coming right at you, swerve to the right, swerve to the left, stay on the road. Maybe I got to go and hit a tree. Okay? But you can prioritize it. And the last thing you have to do when you make a plan is, once you've brought enough information in and you've made your plan, you got to tell somebody about it. Because if you don't communicate well, the plan isn't going to happen, is it? What do you think? No. Nope, not going to happen. All right. So we have this plan. Let's have a quick review. We have a plan. Something happens. What do we do? We adapt the plan. And when we adapt the plan, we get lots of options, right? Maybe? What do you think? You get options. The more you use your communication skills, the more options you have. Okay? What if you didn't know how to get to a grocery store when somebody called and said, go get the milk? What can you do? Because now you can't adapt your plan. You got to get more information.
Go to Family Dollar.
Go to where?
Family Dollar.
Go to Family Dollar store if you knew where that was. What else?
Gas station sales.
Go to a gas station. Okay. Go to Family Dollar. Go to gas stations. Get on your phone and Google Map Kroger. Call somebody and say, how do I get to Kroger? Lots of ways you can adapt your plan. After you adapt your plan, what's an important thing to do? Follow through with it and communicate it to somebody. So in my case, where my wife called and said, honey, will you go get some milk? I changed my plan. I adapt it because I've got to now go to Kroger. I prioritize. I go, I'm going to turn left, right, left, right. And in my case, I speak correctly. If you're married, you say, yes, dear. And that's... No, he doesn't do that. Okay. So when something happens, how many of you guys have had a distraction come at you and it just pisses you off? Oh, yeah. It just. Okay. Well, let's talk about adapting the plan. As you adapt your plan, if I come at you and I'm really bitchy, you can be really bitchy back, right? Or you could choose to take a better road and set a better tone and say, man, what happened to you today? Before we even talk about the problem, it's been a bad day. Okay, so do you understand that you have absolute control over the situation where if an event happens, you set the tone on how the event is going to be resolved? So why don't you guys tell me who has a passion they'd like to follow? What's your passion? Comedy? Okay. Come on, stand up for a second and tell us. We're going to share a little bit here about passions because it's really important. Can you share with us for a minute? And give me 2 things you would do to start a plan to make comedy possibly.
You said 2 reasons why comedy is my passion?
Yeah, why do you like comedy? And then what 2 things would you start your plan with?
Comedy is just really funny. I have fun being funny. And
okay, guys, listen, this is really important. Having fun doing what you do is critical. He was talking very softly, but he said he's got a passion for it. It's medicine for his soul. And he enjoys doing it. Okay, what 2 things can you do? If you were making a plan, if you were starting to build a plan, and you had 2 goals, what 2 things would you do? So, knowing it, huge thing, part of your plan, knowing your strengths and weaknesses. And number 2, and you don't know how important this is, guys. If you do not write your plan down, it isn't a plan. It's not going to happen. Okay, so whenever you have a dream or whatever you want to do, the second you write it down, it becomes real. Otherwise, it's what we call vaporware. It's just something you think about and it'll pass. Who else has a passion they love? Tell me.
I want to be an anesthesiologist.
Okay.
So first I want to go to undergraduate school for 4 years, major in pre-med.
Okay.
And then depending on how my scores are looking for the MCAT, then I might go to Emory or maybe Xavier for medical school.
Okay.
And then pursue my career.
Outstanding.
I said my dream is to be the first African-American female principal dancer with the New York City Ballet. And I like ballet just because I just enjoy it. I mean, it feels good and it feels good and it makes me feel good and I don't have to worry about anything and I can just dance and it makes me happy.
I want to be either a film producer or a sports analyst.
Okay. And so both of those are phenomenal. What can you do? What two things can you do to start moving in that direction?
What I am doing,
okay,
I'm currently making films, small films of my own.
All right, well, I'm around for another couple of minutes if anybody has questions about airplanes, real estate, life in general.
When you've had a difficult team to work with, how have you made it work?
Well, in order to make that's taking a dysfunctional team and making it functional. That's exactly what we were talking about with our team building skills. The first thing that you need to do is, who remembers when an event happens, what you need to do? Okay, and somewhere in between the event and your adjusting, I said one thing about there's different ways you can communicate. If somebody comes and gets in your face, do you need to get in your face back? Absolutely not. So the answer to your question in team building is, the first thing you need to do is establish communication with whatever the parties are that you have the problem with. Because if you don't have a communication, you're not going to solve the problem. Okay? And sometimes it means that you just have to take a little bit of crap for the team to move the process forward and let it just flow off your feathers. It just, like water off a duck's feather, it just doesn't matter. So there was the old saying, you take it for the team, that's right. But so when a problem occurs in a team, as a leader, if you are going to emerge as the leader, you need to set the tone with the team. You need to establish the communication with the team. And then the rest of the story goes, you need to make a plan with the team. Everybody's got to buy into the plan. And then you go around that process again. Once you have a plan, if the plan works, you just go with it. And you wait. And if the plan doesn't work, you adjust the plan, you talk to the team, and you come back again.